Caitlyn Clark seems to have re-injured her groin. So as you guys can see here, she is dribbling down, she plants her foot, she passes the ball to Kelsey Mitchell on the back door, and then when she is running back on the other end of the court, it seems like she's grabbing her groin area. She is fighting back tears and she walks straight over to the bench. Now, when she goes over to the bench, she starts crying, and I've honestly never seen Caitlyn Clark cry on the court except when she lost the national championship game. But this was honestly, I'm not going to share this whole clip because I don't know how much she wants the video of her basically crying on the court to be circulated around.
How did an uncalled foul lead to one of the WNBA's brightest stars taking a brutal hit on the court? Caitlyn Clark's latest injury didn't just cause an uproar among fans, it sparked a media firestorm against Commissioner Cathy Engelbert. But here's the real question, is poor officiating about to cripple the WNBA entirely? Let's break down the shocking numbers and the growing backlash that's got everyone talking. Before we move on, I would like you to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Imagine this, Caitlyn Clark cuts through the defense, eyes locked on the basket when she suddenly takes an elbow to the ribs. She crumbles to the court, gasping for air. But what's the call? Nothing. No whistle, no review, no accountability. Now, this isn't just a fluke, it's become a pattern. And it's something fans, players, and even broadcasters like Rebecca Lobo and Ryan Ruocco are calling out on national TV.
I mean, it's something that never gets old, truly. Like, to see young girls and even young boys wear your jersey or want a picture or want an autograph, like, that's the reason you do it. Every time I walk out in the arena and people are screaming and cheering, like, they could care less how many points I score or how many minutes I play, and just puts great perspective on life, but also just basketball. So really thankful for that.
That's the way to look at it.
Yeah.
That's the way to look at it.
You were just that young girl, honestly, a short time ago. So for myself, like, that honestly, it just puts good perspective on everything. Obviously, it's been a little bit difficult of a go for this season, but
Sure.
After all, Clark's not the only one getting beaten up out there. Marina Mabrey straight up shoved her to the ground in another brutal moment, and yet again, the refs silent. It's not just bad calls, it's a league-wide problem. Missed whistles create an environment where rough, often reckless play is treated as normal. JJ Quinterly once played defense so physical on Clark during a game that a commentator literally called it karate. It's not just an exaggeration, it's pointing out the absurdity of what passes as acceptable play in the WNBA. Other leagues like the NBA or even women's college basketball have a far more tightly controlled game when it comes to officiating. That's not to say those leagues are perfect, but compared to this, the WNBA sometimes feels like the Wild West. And the results are showing. Lucas Seher's recent statistics on injuries in the league are shocking. Since the start of this season, there have been 141 injuries reported. Of those, 57 involved head and neck injuries over just 2.5 seasons.
Well, I really feel for Caitlyn Clark because I actually had that injury 2006, and listen, I was heavily taped around my thigh, around my glute, just trying to make sure there was enough pressure to hold that growing. You have to get a lot of deep treatment, whether it's ice and heat and rest. Well, can Caitlyn Clark, she can't find a lot of rest right now because she's mid-season. And the hard part is that the groin is sort of an area that you can't just touch and go, oh, it hurts right here. You feel it deep.
Those aren't minor numbers. They're signals of a much larger systemic problem. Calling it bad luck doesn't cut it anymore. Beyond the injuries, though, it reflects poorly on the league itself. Fans see stars like Clark taking unnecessary hits, and it sends the message that the WNBA doesn't value protecting its players. That kind of perception can do lasting damage, not just to individuals, but to the league's reputation and its momentum overall. But it's not just about officiating mistakes on the court. Beneath it all, there's a ripple effect growing, one that could put the WNBA at even greater risk.
You know, the great thing for Caitlyn is I guarantee she will be back and she'll come back bigger and stronger. So it's great to be able to see Indy represent, and I mean, it sucks, right? We're here in Indianapolis, and you want to be able to be well represented with all the players that got selected. Even more importantly, bringing the best player here to Indianapolis for our fans to see, those that don't necessarily always get a chance to see every other team. They get to see the best players in the world right here in Indianapolis.
You know what's crazier? Caitlyn Clark by herself has been driving more than half the WNBA's TV audience. Half. Now, picture this. She goes down with an injury in a game marred by terrible officiating, sidelined for weeks. And what happens? Fans turn off their screens. Christine Brennan reported that TV ratings dropped by a staggering 55% during Clark's absence. It's not just a blow to the fans, it's a collapse in the league's visibility. And it's not just her. Imagine losing other stars like Brianna Stewart, Aja Wilson, or Sabrina Ionescu due to the same reckless environments on the court. Viewers aren't going to stick around for a starless game no matter how much they love basketball.
It was honestly just so heartbreaking to see because in that moment she just looked so defeated. And Caitlyn Clark is somebody, she hides it really well, and I don't know if hiding it or she handles it is probably the right thing to say. She's never battled injuries in college. She's always been something who has been a very healthy player, and this year it has been quad injury and then another quad injury and then a groin injury and now what seems to be another groin injury. She handles the pressure. She handles all of the media spotlight, the attention, the expectations of how she performs on the court, the expectations of the ratings for her games.
And here's the debate. Some say the media is hyping these issues, that people like Brennan sensationalize them to sell books or drum up clicks. But is that really the case? If you lined up a WNBA game without stars like Clark, Stewart, or Wilson, would it excite the same way? Can you picture an NBA Finals without LeBron, Curry, or Giannis? Star power drives professional sports. It's undeniable. Without it, the games feel smaller, the stakes feel lower, and interest evaporates. That's the brutal reality facing the league. What's worse is how mainstream outlets, usually supportive of the WNBA, are calling them out. The Washington Post didn't hold back, criticizing how poorly officiating has been handled. This shift is significant. When traditional allies in the press start asking tough questions about player safety and infrastructure, it's not a good sign. It shows the problem is becoming too big to ignore, not just for fans, but for sponsors and media representatives who want a product they can confidently back.
This play in the game was with under 1 minute left in the game against the Connecticut Sun. I'm going to go into some of the clips that are going viral right now. There are multiple moments in this game that were so egregiously called, or there was no calls by the referees. Now, they were winning by, I believe, 8 points at the time, so I guess the Sun could have came back. But every time the Indiana Fever plays the Connecticut Sun, it is a very, very physical game, and it's getting out of control at this point.
Now, all this scrutiny, it's putting Cathy Engelbert right in the middle of the storm. The pressure isn't just coming from people on social media. This is bigger. This is media. This is brands. And this is the future of the WNBA's financial stability. Injuries don't just hurt players. They chip away at everything the league is trying to build. What happens next could make or break it. So, let's shift gears and talk about what comes next for Engelbert and the WNBA. The WNBA's future hangs in the balance, and it's bigger than just superstar name. Without fixing officiating and protecting players, the league risks unraveling everything it's fought to build. The injuries, the missed calls, the criticism, it's not just noise, it's a warning sign. And while stars like Caitlyn Clark fuel the league's growth, they can't thrive in a system that doesn't ensure their safety. If you care about this game, now is the time to raise your voice. Support the players, demand accountability. Cathy Engelbert holds the power to stop this free fall. The question is, will she?